Ay. Otra vez. Come here. Let me say something. I remember Tampa, the way she used to be, the places we would run to, the faces we would see. Yes, I remember Tampa, those precious memories, a city rising on the move, a simple yet progressive groove. I remember Tampa, and she remembers me. Yeah. She remembers me.
Welcome to the Tampa Native Show. Stay tuned now for the fastest 60 minutes in cable broadcast history. Live from the studios at TVCN, the home of the Tampa Native Show. Join your host, Mario Nunez, as he celebrates growing up in Tampa. From Shock Armstrong to Shakey's Pizza, from Braddock Street to Buffalo Avenue. Get ready to call in and tell us your stories, because sharing your memories has never been this much fun. And now, your host, Mario Nunez.
She remembers me.
Hi, Tampa Native Show fans. Look at that slow dissolve right there. Huh? Isn't that spectacular? Mario Nunez here in front of you on Thursday night at 7 o'clock. You know, where else would you be but in front of your TV, getting ready to enjoy another exciting edition of the Tampa Native Show. We're so grateful to have you watching us tonight. And tonight you're in for a very, very special treat. You know, you saw in the opening there Mr. Onelio Ochoa, subtitled Fabulous Rocker. Well, we've got one of the other fabulous rockers in studio with us tonight, Dr. Dennis Pupello, and he's going to tell us all about the origins of the fabulous rockers. Who would know better than Dr. Pupello? Because after all, he's one of the founding fathers and one of the cornerstones. And I can't wait to talk to him about the Peppermint Lounge in New York City sometime circa 1962, because that had to have been a hip trip daddy-o, if you know what I'm saying to you right now. And I think you do. Also in studio with us tonight is Miss Lynn Marvin Dingfelder, award-winning documentarian who is hard at work right now in post-production, putting the finishing touches on another award-winning documentary, I'm sure. And she'll be here to tell us all about that in just a few minutes. Look, I just want to say at the top of the show, last week, congratulations to Michelle Cookson, who won the Bolita drawing last week. Michelle, I'll get you your T-shirt to you, I promise. I almost had a chance to get it to you at the meeting the other day downtown, where we got a chance to address the Senate legislature that was down here. You know, every year, I guess it is, they come down before they go to session, and we get a chance to air grievances. This week, Tuesday night, we got a chance to be in front of them. Unfortunately, we collectively wanted to talk a little bit about the TBX, and we wanted to impress upon them. You know, maybe you guys don't know this, but it is the Florida legislature that funds the Department of Transportation and gives them the money available for them to be able to then go ahead and do what they're going to do to expand an interstate, to make adaptations, corrections, amendments to the physical structures, build the interstate, if you will. Well, you know, because we've been harping on this for the last few weeks, the TBX is kind of a bad deal for us. It's going to finish the job that in 1962 divided Seminole Heights and Ybor City and West Tampa and Tampa Heights. It's going to destroy those the rich fabric of our culture and our history that is just now rebounding 50 years later. And Senator Jeff Brandes looked me dead in the eye and told me what a bully this guy is. He told me right to my face, he said that this was going to cost only $3 billion and it was going to pay for itself. Those of us that have been working behind the scenes know better. So anyway, I didn't get to see you, Michelle, there, and I didn't even get to speak because I had to leave early, probably a good thing. They pared our 5-minute time frame down to 1 minute because I don't think they wanted to hear from us, to be honest with you. That and the Uber versus taxi debate took all of the time. But more on that later. Stay tuned. TBX, stay tuned. I just found out today, breaking news today, we may be learning their fate here before too much longer. Our Tampa Bay Rays are going to get the opportunity to get out of their lease a little bit early. Somebody's going to have to come up with some money. Perhaps even Dr. Pupello can chip in. I don't know how it's going to work out, but somebody's going to have to write a big old check to get them out of Tropicana Field. And if they don't come to Tampa, then I don't know what we all just sit down and cry, I guess. You know, maybe they'll just move to Montreal, where they will accept them, I'm sure, with open arms lovingly. Early part of the season, I don't think it's too early for me to say Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah. We're trying to catch the spirit, man. It's coming, whether you're ready for it or not. It's going to be here in a minute. So I guess tonight's like the third or fourth night of Hanukkah. So light that fourth candle, and maybe I can ask a few questions of Lynn, and she can share with me a little more about that, because I've got my Hanukkah beard going. In case you guys didn't know, it was Movember. I grew it but then I just kept it into December, right? How does it look? There we go. I need Dr. Pupello's in the stage whisper off camera saying he needs the yarmulke. I do, because I've got this spot right here that I'd like to cover. Okay, enough about me. One more thing. On a serious note, today, Warren Ellie, who worked at Big 13, who most of us who grew up here knew was tremendously well respected and admired journalist who passed away. We lost him earlier this year. They dedicated the media center at the Hillsborough County Courthouse in his honor today, and they named it the Warren Ellie Media Center. Great reception there. A lot of our dignitaries were there. Jack Espinosa was there, I understand. So we miss you, Warren, and that's one hell of a tribute to one hell of a guy. So we're proud. We're proud to have known. And I didn't get a chance to get Warren on the show. I called him. I asked him if he would come on and talk to us a little bit about Cape Canaveral and all of his experiences there, because those of us that knew him, that was his thing, man. He loved everything about the space shuttle and covering everything down there at Cape Canaveral. But rest in peace, Warren. We miss you. All right, are you ready to talk a little Fabulous Rockers? Because I am. We've got about a 7.5-minute video that I must show you. Why? Because Lynn Marvin Dingfelder sent it to me, and she insisted. But beyond that, it's sort of to set the table. I think that's a nice way to kind of think it through, because this is the time of year when we do set our table. We welcome our guests, our family, our friends to the house. So we're going to whet your appetite. We're going to set the table for you. Watch this 7.5-minute video. When we come back, Lynn Marvin Dingfelder and Dr. Pupello sitting right over there. We'll be talking to you about the Fabulous Rockers. So turn up the TV and enjoy.
1957, and rock and roll is all the rage.
I saw you last night.
You won't want to miss the heartfelt story about the high school kids from West Tampa and Ybor City who created a red-hot sound.
They were a hell of a band, and not just a band, they were entertainers. I mean, it was a night out when you went to see the Rockers, and they were our band.
It was homegrown boys, a band doing great, It was amazing.
I remember it like it was yesterday, and the Rockers would be up on the stage, and all these kids would be dancing on the floor. It was kind of like American Bandstand.
These guys were locally. They were it. They were the big, big deal. And I don't know that there are a lot of other communities that had anything like that, quite like that, a band that everybody loved. And if you were going to have an event, you wanted to have the Fabulous Rockers there.
Every Saturday night, it was like the meeting place.
And West Tampa, where I lived, was only 4 blocks away from the letter carriers, where the Rockers played. Can't tell you, I didn't have a car, but I walked there every Saturday, and I walked back.
We had a lot of the dances in the gym, and a lot of the sock hops. Oh, we just danced the night away.
Saturday, man, it was the Rockers. That's where you went. That's where I went, because Saturday I was the guy that was with the Rockers. So I was part of what we were doing. We were all growing up together.
Everybody wanted to be on the dance floor when the rockers were performing.
It was our American Bandstand, sort of. It was fabulous.
They rocked the airwaves with their hit single.
Once again, by popular demand, these are the Fabulous Rockers.
Oh my God, it was just awesome. It was really great, you know.
Oh, I was proud, you know. I couldn't believe it. Gee, we made the radio, you know.
That was just probably the highlight of our life.
We've made it. Our records on the radio all day long. You could, any station you listen to, we'll be playing the record.
Yes, they did. They all wanted to hear the Rockers, yeah. Absolutely, yeah. It was the biggest thing going.
That kind of music meant something to us, and still does. The stuff that you listen to today or you hear today, is so much of it is garbage.
Music has changed. It's not like it was when I was young. There's no better music in my book than the Rockers' music.
I've always been so proud that they have done that well and that they cut their own record, their own music, and I've always thought that they had the potential to even do more.
They're magical, and they still have that touch.
I mean, we were proud of them. They made us proud.
You loved them and fell in love at their dances.
Listen to my heartbeat.
That was my first day with my wife in 1958. Well, I picked up my wife at the house. I took her over to Hellenic Center to go listen to the Rockers. And on the way back, the gas gauge was broken and we ran out of gas. So that was my first date with Shirley at the Rockers, and I run out of gas.
And that's where I met Wang. I was 14. It was ninth grade. In ninth grade, I was 14. So I met him at one of those dances. He asked me to dance. He was in the 10th grade. I remember dancing with him, and he had the best scent, the best cologne on.
I thought he was great. Great looking, beautiful eyes. Fell in love instantly.
He had been in the audience all through the time that I was with the band. He said, "Hey, you want to go out?" And I said, "Yes, okay." He was cute. So I went out with him, and, you know, the rest is history.
They played with some of the biggest stars.
We toured with Frankie Avalon, Roy Orbison. We opened for Roy Orbison.
Connie Francis. She was wonderful.
Jane the American, it's one of them that really just leaps out at me a lot, because they came and played at the letter carriers.
Brenda Lee.
We backed up Fabian.
Neil Sedaka. And the Four Seasons.
I mean, they brought famous people here that we heard or saw on Ed Sullivan.
The Fabulous Rockers skyrocketed to the Big Apple to play at the one and only Peppermint Lounge.
Well, they got a new dance and it goes like this. Yeah, the name of the dance is the Peppermint Twist. Well, you like it like this, the Peppermint Twist.
Can you imagine the Peppermint Lounge? Wow, we're going like that. Our guys are at the Peppermint Lounge in New York, yeah.
I mean, that was, oh my God, can you imagine? They were up there at the Peppermint Lounge. That was the place to be.
Relive the memories. Hear from the Rockers today, their breakup, their reunion, and their historic concert in Cuba.
You have a bridge here for many years, back and forth between Havana and Tampa, and all the history of Jose Marti and the Rough Riders and the cigar factories, our grandparents.
And they were kind of like the metamorphosis of the music that was developed by those immigrants in Ybor City, the older guys.
And these guys are part of that melting pot of history.
We're going to go as ambassadors doing this that I don't think has ever been done.
I think this is a historical moment.
This is not a story necessarily about the band alone. This is a story about the people who have made this journey with us.
see the rest of the story, don't miss the documentary debut and dance celebrating the fabulous rockers forever.
Without a warning, you broke my heart. You took me, darling, and you tore it apart. You left me sitting in the dark crying. You said your love for me was dying.
With the red light on, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you Dr. Dennis Pupello right there. Here's Lynn Marvin Dingfelder.
Hello, Mario.
Wow, how much fun was that?
Yeah.
Huh?
Thanks.
That trip to Cuba was pretty exciting.
It was great.
Dr. Pupello, how you doing?
I'm doing very well.
Good.
Thank you.
It's good to have you here. You know, you saw Onelio in the opening of the show.
I did.
And you shared a little side story, which we will get to a little bit later. Onelio v. Frankie Valli. We'll talk about that. Wow. You said 55 years it's been that you've been involved with the Rockers?
55 plus.
Ah.
Yeah, we're older than the Rolling Stones.
That's pretty impressive. We'll start the show with that commentary right there. We talked earlier before we went on the air that a lot of this musical wellspring came from, as Jack alluded to in the piece, those immigrants and what they brought, whether it was the indigenous sound that they brought with them from Sicily, from Cuba, from Spain, or just the opportunity to say, listen, I've got 5 children. You're all going to be doing something because you got to get out from under our feet. So here's a horn for you, go blow it. Here's a keyboard for you, go play it. How did your musical interest kind of develop?
Well, we came from various backgrounds, and as you say, there was a lot of influence. Several of my family members played guitar, accordion. Everybody played the accordion. It reminds me of a joke.
Not an easy instrument to play.
Reminds me of a joke. The difference between an accordion and an onion. Nobody cries when you chop up an accordion.
Terrifically hard instrument.
But I think there was influence from the music from Italy and Sicily, the music from Spain and Cuba, music from Puerto Rico, and some other rhythms that developed as we grew up. We were exposed to that, and I think our music is sort of a blend of all of those things. All of them had an influence on how we emerged as a band. And we were a little bit different than most bands of that era. Our performance was visual and audio, not just audio. The bands at that time played great music. They sat down and unfolded their music stands, sat down and read music.
Big band sort of
and that's
formulation.
There was nothing on stage going on other than the musicians were playing.
There was no show.
We didn't use any music. Everything was memorized. We did all top 40 tunes. And each tune had a little something to it, dance step, swinging. So there was something to watch as well as hear.
Absolutely.
And that sort of changed the whole thing. That was in the late 50s this happened.
Coming out of high school, what year did you graduate, Dr. Pupello?
57.
Okay, 57. That's not a bad time to be coming out of high school. There was an American classic, the 57 Chevy, that was just on the scene. So things were changing. I think, the U.S. was in a good place, you could say, because, we had done what we did in Europe, and every, there was a pot in every, a chicken in every pot, and a car in every driveway, right?
Yeah,
so opportunity was everywhere. If you had the inclination, you put a group together, well, let's see what we can do with this. It wasn't until '62 that you got up to New York to the Peppermint Lounge. So in the in-between times, you started playing here locally?
Oh, yes. We played every Saturday night at the Letter Carriers Hall for almost 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah. That was a meeting place on Saturday night.
Right down the street from Renee Rodriguez's house, apparently.
That's right. And prior to that, we were at the Hellenic Center, which is the location of where the Tribune building is now.
Oh, okay.
Right on the river.
Okay, wonderful spot.
And then in between, we played several times at the Palladium Ballroom, which was another ballroom downtown where the Performing Arts Center is now.
Oh, so you had an affinity for being close to the water, I see. I'm getting a picture here now. But what a great backdrop, though, right?
Yeah.
What a great meeting place on the water.
I think, most of the group, we emerged from Jefferson High School. And it may well be that there were so many different ethnic backgrounds there in Jefferson that was sort of a melting pot for all these musical influences. And the the band sort of came together as the Fabulous Rockers in January or February of 1958.
Wow,
Yeah.
the year I was born. How about that?
Yeah.
And the name, where did it originate from?
I don't know. It was one of those things. It was originally called the Rockers when it first got started, and then
Somebody put Fabulous
a few
on it.
months later, we sort of expanded the group.
Gotcha.
We fused some of the original rockers with some new musicians, and we call it the Fabulous Rockers.
I have a theory. That I think that the Fabulous moniker came in somewhere right about the time that the sequined vest came in. I'm thinking this one, you put on the sequins and you can't help but be fabulous. Lynn, when did you decide that you were going to be doing this documentary?
Oh, no, it wasn't a decision. It was begging.
There you go. When did that come to you?
I heard that Dr. Pupello was interested in documenting this rich story. And I had just finished the JFK documentary, and thanks to former City Councilman Rudy Fernandez. He kind of put us in touch. I'd heard of the doctor. I knew that he was fabulous, and I knew of the Rockers. But I wanted to have the possibility, the opportunity to be able to tell this story, and it's a love story. It's a beautiful story. Let me just interject that, and I don't know if all of this is true, but I did hear that Fabulous Rockers was based on what a DJ had said when their record was playing.
Oh,
these guys
it's a fabulous
are
sound.
fabulous.
Yeah, these guys
So
are
it's
fabulous.
possible that it was coined that way. I don't know, but I also, Dr. Pupello is so modest. I want to add to what he was saying that when they played the rock and roll, they were learning the latest tunes from the records. They did it all by ear. They didn't have sheet music, so the latest tunes would come out, and these amazing musicians would get together. And there were people I've interviewed for the documentary who said they didn't realize that they weren't the originators of what they were hearing on the radio.
Right.
That's how good
That's
they
how
were.
good they were.
That they could sing anything, and it was all by ear.
Cover
that they
band
were
extraordinaire. You
amazing.
guys,
Before
before
it
we
was
knew what a
fashion.
cover band was,
Right.
you guys were doing that.
Right.
That's
so-
pretty good. And I was looking at some of the photographs and doing a little bit of research before the show. I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but you mentioned it earlier that there were more component parts to your performances rather than just a musical performance. Let's put it this way. You guys incorporated some theatrical art. There was some pie throwing. There was some shenanigans.
It was laughing before there was laughing.
And it was Saturday Night Live before we knew what Saturday Night Live was. So you guys were way ahead of the curve.
It was entertainment.
Yep.
They gave them the full show.
The full Monty, without really it being a full Monty. So let me ask, because we saw the movie, we know what a full Monty.
I never heard it described that way before.
But we knew it. So is it? Would it be the acme of foolishness to ask what would a Fabulous Rockers concert have cost a young man or a woman at that time to go see?
Sure, no, it's not. 50 cents.
Unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. They gave it away. 50 cents. That's pretty good. That's an indication of the times we were living. And the guys and the gals would walk from wherever they were, or bum a ride,
their parents usually drop them off and pick them up. And some of the other stories I've heard, and they're all joyous, is that if parents really wanted to punish the kids, no Saturday night, no rockers, you cannot go. And so they lived in fear, and they behaved. They behaved all week so that they could go to the rockers. You had to be at the rockers.
That's a whole nother story that we can drill down. I'd like to ask the doctor how that's a lot of pressure on you. You know what I mean? That's a lot of responsibility for you and the gang.
Right.
Oh, they lived up to it.
Of course, of course. The celebrity part, how did that wash over you? And you're a young kid. I mean, we're not even talking about where Dr. Pupello became Dr. Pupello. That's going to happen in a minute. But, you're a musician at this point, and you're thinking, this is pretty good. I got the cat by the tail, so to speak. We got a good thing going. We're traveling. We're getting bigger, better. How did that whole thing settle with you?
We were so into what we were doing. We never took ourselves too seriously.
That was your Tampa upbringing, let's be honest.
Yeah.
You stayed grounded as a result.
We loved what we were doing. We were having a great time, always having fun on stage. We looked forward to playing as much as people look forward to coming to the dances.
And you still do.
We do, and that's what made it sustain itself for so many years.
Sure.
We've always had a fun time playing. It's been a fun thing. And it influenced our lives tremendously. It really did. There was a commitment that we made back then to the band that was second to none. I mean, the band took precedence over almost everything. An example is our tenor sax player, Manuel Gutierrez. I believe it was 60 or 61, asked me, what day in December are we not playing?
I'd like to get married.
I looked at the schedule, and it was December 28th. And he said, good, please don't book anything. I want to get married that night.
I didn't know that was true. But yeah, of course. I think Irene Ochoa told a story similar to that too, that on their honeymoon, they got married, and I think she either had one or two decisions. She had to go with Onelio to a gig, or that she was going to stay behind, and Onelio was going to go do the gig. But either way,
probably right.
That's amazing. And again, you know, when nobody circles the wagons, I guess, better than the Rockers. You guys were just a tight-knit group. One girl. Talk to me about that. You couldn't find another one, or you just wanted to have one female? Yeah, Donna.
No, we had a female singer, and she added a lot to the group at that time, and sort of worked. I mean, she was like a sister to most of the guys.
Sure.
And she sort of stayed with us all the years and came back and rejoined the group when we had our reunion in 1994.
That's wonderful. Yeah. That's wonderful. No, I see the pictures, and the pictures were all the professional shots that you had taken for the band. Donna's always prominently featured somewhere in the middle with the guys on either side of her.
And dressed impeccably.
Oh, no.
In fact, whatever she was wearing would match their jackets. I mean, she was just
You guys
amazing.
had great style, hence the Fabulous Rockers.
Right.
Did you have a seamstress? Was there a member of the band that put your stuff together? Or
the mothers of the band.
Is that what it was? Okay. So that was kind of an offshoot, I guess you would, and it was what was happening at the time as well. I mean, the music scene at the time, the doo-wop bands, the guys dressed usually matching suits, if not different colors. And then most of you guys were in the marching band at Jefferson?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
So, you were used to wearing a uniform, so to speak. And it was, I guess, what was happening back at that time.
There was some other unusual, as I look back at the photos of the letter carriers, they would set up these long tables alongside. There were no chairs.
Mm-hmm.
You stood all night.
Mm-hmm.
And there was actually standing room only. The ladies or the girls would put their purses on the table. There was no check-in, there was no ticket. They just put their purses on the table and they danced all night.
Purses still there with it?
There was no thievery.
Yeah. Different time.
It's a different time.
Different time.
Yeah.
That's what I think Rini was alluding to. He said, the music has changed. It's different from when I was a kid, and Joe Capitano was saying the same thing too. Yeah. You guys were so fortunate. My generation, my group, caught the tail end of a lot of that. But that was the 50s, Fabulous 50s, Fabulous Rockers. It was the 50s. So it was a whole different experience when you got a chance. Your parents would drop you off, for crying out loud. And then the big highlight was go get a moon pie and a knee-high grape soda, whatever that was. Right. I don't even know, but it was something special.
There was no air conditioning, and they danced all night.
Oh, no, at the Armory there was no air conditioning. At the letter carriers there was no air conditioning.
No air conditioning, and I'm told that everyone was just drenched by the time they left.
How could they not be?
And the girls talk about how they got all dolled up, how they planned for a week, and they consulted with each other. What are you wearing? That's a big deal. And the rollers and the beehives and and the makeup.
Dressed to the nines.
Yeah,
dressed to the nines.
But
the guys
everybody
with the combs,
did. Yes.
Right? In the back pockets.
Yes. Yes, and the Rockers dressed to the nines too. Their patent leather shoes, their matching pants, the beautiful jackets. They were known for their plaids and stuff, and it was a real experience. It was something that you kind of want to go back in time, and that's what I love about the documentary. It's allowing me and Larry Wizicki, my talented partner and editor and video. Yeah.
Fabulous, man. Yeah. We can't say the word enough tonight.
No, I can't. Yes, and Larry really deserves that.
Running time on the documentary, do we have an idea?
A minute. 1 hour. 1 hour.
1 hour, 60 minutes.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And it's going to be on PBS.
It's going to
have
a date?
No, in February. We're going to debut first at the dance that we're going to talk about, and then
spoiler alert. Stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that.
And then
news coming.
And then it will air on PBS statewide.
That is so
give
nice.
my Rockers some.
Hey, get ready, Dr. Pupello, because it looks like you're not ready to slow down anytime soon. Because once the documentary comes out, you know what? And no, once they see you on this show, forget it. You're going to get the Tampa Native Show bump. You're going to be booked for the next 2 months. let's show some pictures because I want to get to the point where we can take a couple of phone calls. I know you guys are out there watching and you've got some questions, some comments. Those of you that are out there watching right now, screaming at the TV, remembering some of the things you used to do and where you used to see the Rockers play, we want to take your calls as well. But let's go, Erica, and maybe just write through the pictures in order, and as they come up on the screen, we can do some commentary. Dr. Pupello, Lynn, we can talk about these pictures. There's a little picture-in-picture. I think we saw that one. Did you use that one in that little clip that we saw?
Yes, we're using that as the logo now for the documentary.
Love that font. It screams 1950s, doesn't it?
We tried to do that. Thank you, Larry.
You know, that's one of the gigs at the Palladium Ballroom.
The Palladium that was on the river, correct?
On the river, right where the Performing Arts Center is now.
Where the Straz is.
Yep. That's at the recording studio in Miami, Criteria Studios, where we cut the record, Would I Still Be Loving You?
O'Neillio. And
it's O'Neillio,
Manny,
Donna, and the Joker. Yeah, Manuel.
Manny
and
at
that's
the soundboard.
Manuel at the soundboard. That's in the recording studio.
That's still at Criterion Studios?
Yep.
We heard about Criterion Studios. That
it was big.
The name of that studio came up about 5 weeks ago when we had Sandy Ficca and David Muse in studio with us, and that's the drummer and the saxophone player for Firefall. And that's how Sandy got hooked up with, apparently the Criterion Studios was the place.
Yeah.
So you went down there and there was, there could be a chance that coming in the next studio recording could be Eric Clapton, or did you have any experiences like that down there, Dr.
Didn't
Pupello?
you see someone next door to you?
Did you see any famous people? I mean, other than yourself in the mirror.
Lou Christie was recording a tune called Lightning Striking Again and Again. You remember that?
Lightning.
Tell them about that.
You want me to sing it to you?
Raindrops Falling From My Eye. I can't remember the artist.
Raindrops.
Yeah.
And didn't you tell me they used one of those things for sound effects?
Yeah, and that
the jawbone or the
to make a
like
sound of thunder.
Oh, okay.
They had a long piece of tin that we used to use on the roofs in Ybor City. They had a handle on one side, and they would do like this, and it would make a sound that sounded like lightning striking and a thunder.
Isn't that crazy?
It was amazing.
Well, it was the late 50s, early 60s.
Yeah.
Right.
We didn't have no computers. We didn't need no stinking computers. We take a piece of tin and make a sound effect out of it. Oh my goodness!
That's right.
The Tamiami Trail. You guys must have beat that thing up, going down to Miami and coming back.
Well, it was a fascinating trip.
60
really
across
was.
the Yeehaw Junction.
That's Artie and O'Neillio.
I want to know about this picture here, because when I saw this picture, you sent me about 40 pictures, and I had to pick the ones that just kind of caught my eye. This one in particular screams Cool Cat Daddy-O.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
With the shades, inside, got the cigarette going. You know what I mean? Talk to us about that, Dr. Pupello. What's happening there?
I can't recall that.
I think it's
particular
staged.
scene.
I don't think either one of them
I think
they were being
was.
silly.
I think it was staged.
Yeah, I think they were being
They're
silly.
trying to be cool.
No trying. I think they're succeeding. I think it's very cool, that picture. Okay, team meeting. What's going on?
That in the center is Rock Robbins, who was the DJ here at WALT during the time we were really flying high, and he helped us a lot. And he actually was the liaison between us and the Peppermint Lounge in New York City.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So you can say he got you that gig on.
That's a picture outside the Peppermint Lounge.
I just love that picture. I think there's something about the...
I can't remember ever being that skinny.
The picture screams early 60s.
Yeah.
Whether it's the texture, the color,
or the clean streets in Manhattan.
The clean streets, all of it. The cars in the background.
For sure.
And then I want to know too, because you got all of your worldly possessions in one maleta. How did that work out?
No.
You put all your calzoncillos in that one bag? I don't even know. How long were you gone?
The luggage wasn't even there yet. I mean.
Oh, okay.
We had a ton of instruments and luggage.
I'm thinking.
We had a tough time finding a taxi that would take us from the train station to the Peppermint Lounge.
You probably didn't know how to properly hail one. You guys were from Tampa.
We ended up using Lester's limousine service.
Very good. Yeah. You remember to this day, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Too bad we couldn't get Lester to come and do an interview on the documentary. Go back to that picture before,
that's inside
Erica,
the lounge.
I want to see. Yeah, there's the street scene.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys got your taxis and you're ready to go. I just loved looking at the signage.
Yeah, me too.
Just,
so vintage, right?
It's very cool.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing is cool. You guys dressed with your suits and your ties, and That wouldn't be like that today.
And you know, they played at the Peppermint Lounge several times. They were asked
So you
back.
went, how did you go up there? Silver Meteor, did you take the train?
Went the train.
Yeah, I've got some
24
pictures
hours.
on the train.
There you go.
24 hours.
There you go.
And you were playing on the train. You were practicing,
Yeah,
right?
we were.
Set up on the train?
We entertained, no, not everybody, but we had some instruments.
Sure.
We played to entertain some people on the train.
You weren't enjoying yourself too much, were you?
Yeah,
Dr.
we were.
Pupello?
We certainly did.
Huh?
I learned a lot about New York City in a few days that I got up there.
Oh, it was moving about 10 times as fast as Tampa, I bet.
We stayed in a hotel right above, next door to the Peppermint Lounge called the Knickerbocker Hotel.
The Knickerbocker?
Yeah. And
I
they
bet
had
there's some
these
people out
huge
there remember
machines
that.
in the lobby where you put a quarter in and you get a sandwich out, you know.
Oh, wow.
Needix or whatever they
Yeah,
call them.
Needix. Or
Yeah,
there was a
Needix.
Horn and Harder too, but they're Needix,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
So I think Irene,
The Automat is where that,
right,
that all
remember
started.
that, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
But I think Irene Ochoa told me that I think it was her that said that the hotel was so creepy that she and her
was
parents she and her parents said, "No, we're not staying at that hotel. You guys can." And they went somewhere. Her parents said, "No, we're not staying."
It was pretty
And
bad.
Joey said, no,
Yeah.
not here,
Yeah,
not tonight.
yeah,
But you know, New York was a completely different animal, a completely different kettle of fish. And if you had never been to the big city, it wasn't a bigger city. So it was quite a step into
It's big time.
the big stage, the fast lane, the bright lights.
Right.
But that's pretty cool. That's pretty impressive. I think that's what Ted Webb was talking about. These were our guys, and they made it.
The lounge was on the corner of Broadway and 45th.
Uh-huh.
Exactly where the Marriott Marquis stands now.
Okay.
Tore all that down and built the Marriott Marquis.
Oh, darn.
It was right there. I mean, it was right on Broadway and right on Times
That's
Square.
the theater district right
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
I mean, it's happening there.
Yep.
you know?
Yep.
Very
I think,
exciting.
I think the Ed Sullivan studio, the Ed Sullivan Theater was around the
Right
corner
around
of
the corner.
44th.
I saw the Beatles there.
Did you?
That's
wow,
another
that's
story.
another show. The Beatles at the Ed Sullivan Theater. That's pretty good stuff. Did we go through all those photos?
Mario, if I may,
Oh, please.
I would love to put out a request to all of the Tampa natives.
Look right into that camera right there.
Dear Tampa natives, you can help. We are in the process of editing this documentary now. If you have any pictures from that time period, if you went to a Rockers concert, if you went to Jefferson High School, if you would like your photos or old Super 8 films to be a part of this documentary and preserved and archived forever, please get in touch with either Mario or me and let us know what you have. We would love to be able to include some of your stuff. It would be really wonderful.
And we know the Tampa natives, when they get busy and they get serious, they come through. So Tampa natives, this is as good as it gets, as big as it gets. If you'd like to have your stuff involved with Lynn's documentary, please step
That would be
forward,
great.
come out of the shadows, and
Come out of the
open that
shadows.
box that's in your attic, man, that you ain't looked at in 30 years, because Dr. Pupello shared with us before we went on the air that these photographs that you're looking at now were all but lost and hadn't been seen anywhere in 40 years. And then somebody found them. Who found them, Dr. Pupello?
Anthony Lopez.
And thank you, Anthony
our
Lopez.
drummer.
There's
Yeah.
one for you, Anthony, because without him, we wouldn't have those images.
Well, and you probably know this, but Anthony Lopez is an award-winning photographer. He not
St.
only
Pete Times,
right,
yeah.
and yes, and he told me he almost got a Pulitzer. He was on Time magazine covers and stuff.
Oh, wow.
So, but
Wow.
these are his photos
Oh,
that we're
wow.
looking at. So he documented their experience. He's the drummer, and he's documented. Thank God for him. I'm thanking, and Larry and I are thanking God for him now because we have all these
Somebody
wonderful
had
pictures.
the foresight
Right.
to take some pictures, because you know when
To
you're in the
keep it.
middle of all that,
Right.
you're busy.
exactly
You're
right.
busy,
And there are no camera, iPhone things.
no,
and,
no,
you
no,
know,
no,
I mean,
no.
this
You
is
had
like
to
the
be
old school stuff.
a camera aficionado at that time, the
Right.
guy with the camera.
Right.
And if you're the camera player, I should say the cameraman and the drummer, you know, sometimes
Right.
you got to be drumming. You can't be doing too many things at one time. Shall we open the phone lines?
Sure.
Let's open the phone lines. This is a good time to do it because we're going to run out of show, as always happens. When people get in here, Dr. Pupello, they say, Mario, how long is the show? I said, well, it's an hour, 60 minutes. 60 minutes? I got to talk for an hour? Mira, look at the clock. I mean, it goes so fast, and when you have as much ground to cover as we do, it's really not enough time. But we hope that at least we're getting these people seriously reconnected with part of Tampa history, a part of Tampa history that I think will live on and on and on. In other words, you guys came in and set the bar real high for all of those other garage bands that came after you. You know, Blues Image, Mike Panera, all those Joe Lala, all those guys came after you.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's pretty good stuff. What do you say about yourself? What do you have to say for yourself?
Well,
Forget about
think,
the hearts stuff, the doctoring of the heart thing that you did. Forget that for a minute. Saving lives and, forget that.
When asked about, what this meant to us, this is a story, and I agree with Lynn. I think, not because I was part of it, but I think this is a story about Tampa and the evolution of music in Tampa. And it's about the people, the same people that used to go see us at the Rockers in 1958, 59, 60, 61, 62, and 63 are still the people that come to see us now. And they have bonded with us, and we've bonded with them. It's a story. That's the story.
That's the love story.
That's the story.
That's the love story. It's family, really. I mean, when you experience a loss, if you look out in the audience and you go, where's John? He's not here.
Yeah.
You come to find out he's ill or he's, this is family. It's a giant extended family.
Exactly right.
And I think that's who we were at our core as Tampeños. This experience, you just gave us a reason to get together and say, celebrate this,
Nice.
So, and you can use that in your documentary, by the way. I don't mind.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Bring me into the studio. I don't mind. Pretty good stuff. Listen, if you'd like to give us a call, we'd love to hear from you. And please call quickly because we're almost running out of time. 813-977-6800 if you'd like to make a comment tonight. Ask Dr. Pupello or Lynn a question. We'd love to take your call at this time. Operators, actually operator one. Sally's standing by to take your call. So give us a call now. We'd love to hear from you. Dr. Pupello, I'm sorry, Lynn, you were going to say.
I just wanted to tell your viewers that the Tampa Bay History Center actually is having...
good. Listen to this, y'all. Listen to this.
So the Tampa Bay History Center, on the 3rd floor, if you go there now, they have a special exhibit dedicated to the Fabulous Rockers, and it's beautiful. It has one of the plaid jackets there, Dr. Pupello's plaid jacket. It has the record. You can see, we didn't even talk about their hit 45 record that played on the radio everywhere. I mean, they were big. They made it. When they were at the studio, they weren't messing around. It was great. And so anyhow, if they want to see more of the pictures or learn more of the history, it's there now through January 3rd.
Before I take one of these calls, I got to ask you, because this is one of the things, and you're as qualified as anybody to answer this. And I talk about this all the time, because we've had Mark Barrow on the show before. Jack Espinosa comes to mind as well. Tampa has been, for a long time, a wellspring of talent, whether it's theatrical, whether it's sports, whether it's in the academics. So we know we got the chops. We know that. But what is it about Tampa, with one notable exception, maybe Tony La Russa, because he flew the coop and never came back. But Lou came back, so thank goodness for Lou Piniella, he came back. What is it about Tampa that makes it so special? And I think here's where the question for you. People that step out there, and they get out there, big lights, big stage, well, they make it. They taste it. They sense it. But maybe they don't stay because there's a calling, or there's family, or there's something that brings them back. And they say, hey, I'm good. I got to drink from the fountain, but now I'm going to go be a doctor and save people's lives. What is... Because you could have stayed out there. Talent was there.
Yes, I could have. And came very close to on several occasions, staying somewhere else. I did most of my training at Stanford, which is an incredible community. Palo Alto is gorgeous, and the surrounding area is gorgeous.
San Clemente is beautiful.
And I think to answer your question, I can answer it in one word. People. The people here are special.
There you go.
They're special. They come from varied backgrounds. There's a sort of, all this strange influence from all these different cultures have sort of blended or mixed in Tampa, and there's something special about Tampa. There are also a lot of things that we all don't like about Tampa. The roads are terrible. Some of the infrastructure, we don't have mass transportation here like we should. There are a lot of things that are not
Dr.
right,
Pupello,
but there are many things that are right.
Oh, no.
The people are, to answer your question, the people. That's what brought me back here. I wanted to raise my kids here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. I want to thank you for that, because that's something that I think all of us feel, and you helped us by articulating it. I'm not going to say anything about the roads. because then I'm going to jump through the screen right here and the show will be over. That's another show. We'll bring you back for that one, Dr. Bell. We can talk about that one. But you're absolutely right. It is the people. And you can't replicate that anywhere else.
No.
So it's something that all of us that are from here yearn to keep close. Let's go to a caller. Line 5, guys. Caller, thank you so much for holding. You're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Okay. My name is John Demi. I'm an attorney. I represent Lester's Limousine Service.
Lester's Limousine Service from New York City, New York. How are you, sir?
Good. Thank you. And yourself?
Good. Thank you so much for calling. What say you about this gentleman and this lady sitting here with me tonight?
Dr. Pupello owes us $300 from the excellent.
Oh, yeah. Is that in $1962? Because that's a lot of money.
Yeah, and what with the interest, I haven't added the interest.
Okay.
But, tell him if he wants to give me free medical service, we might be able to work something out.
Work out a trade.
Yes, a trade or a barter.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Thanks so much for calling tonight.
All right.
Dr. Pupello, you going to take that sitting down?
Huh?
No, I'm asking Dr. Pupello if he's going to take that sitting down.
Considering the source, I have no comment.
No comment, he says.
Dr. Pupello has no comment, right? So I'm going to catch up with him later.
Thank you so much, Mr. Debbie, for calling. Give me your lucky bolita number between 1 and 75, please.
Between 1 and 76.
75, because I only have 75 bolita balls. We're going to give away a Tampa Native shirt in just a few minutes.
Oh, okay. I can't get the number 6?
Oh, yeah, sure, 6, absolutely. I thought you said 76, pardon. I thought you said 76. And that was John, right, John?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you, John. Thanks so much for calling.
All right, I enjoyed it. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. That's great. We've got a line open. Callers, please, Lynn.
I. There's an I.
Oh, yeah, no. Demi. Caller, thank you so much for holding. You're on the air with the Tampa Native Show. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
This is PJ Testa calling from Sefner, Florida.
It is PJ Testa. Hi, PJ. How are you?
I'm telling you, Mario, you really outdid yourself tonight, my man.
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
What a fabulous show.
Yeah, hey, there it is. Let's go with that Fabulous one more time. I'm going to change my name to Fabulous, I think. Mario Fabulous Nunez. PJ, do you remember seeing these guys play?
I was a little bit too young at the time. I graduated in '64 from high school.
Mm-hmm.
But I played in my groups, too, when I've had my alto sax.
There you go.
And we had a great time. I hope you talk a little bit more about the concert that's going to be at the fairgrounds.
Oh, good point.
Yeah, we're going to bring. What a great segue. We're going to mention that here in just a minute. We've got a graphic to show as well. We're going to pack the house January 23rd.
I'll be there. That's for sure.
Of course. Right. I think we all will.
All right.
With bells on. Thank you, PJ. Give me your lucky bolita number, 1 to 75.
Oh, let's go with 14.
There it is. 14 it is for PJ Testa. Thank you, PJ. We love you. Happy holidays. We'll see you soon.
You bet. Good show, guy.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye. That's PJ Testa, Chamberlain High School class of 66, did he say 65? And he loves our show, and he's one of our sponsors, Dr. Pupello. I have to say that. And he's a great guy. And he rushes home to watch our show on Thursday nights, and we love him for that. Shall I take the call on 5? She's qualified to call. Let's show the graphic right now before we get too much further down the road. Erica, if you will be gracious enough, there it is. Talk about it. Lynn,
so,
sell it.
This is really going to be a fun time. I don't think any of you are going to want to miss this. On Saturday, January 23rd, come to join us at the Florida Fairgrounds. You'll be the first to see the documentary debut, and an hour later you will see a wonderful. You'll be able to dance and see the Fabulous Rockers, and it's just going to be an amazing night that I know you don't want to miss. What I do want to tell you is that they're selling tickets now, and you don't want to be left out. So call the number on the screen or email fabulousrockers57@hotmail.com and make your reservations.
Make your reservations now. Don't wait.
Right.
Because this is going to sell out. There's no question about it.
Oh, it's going to be amazing.
It's going to sell out. And if you don't remember anything else about that graphic, reach out to us here at the Tampa Native Show.
Thank you.
And we will get the information to you. In fact, I'm going to get together with Lynn. I'm going to make sure that we have a hyperlink on our Facebook page and on our website. So you can click that. It'll drop you right into where you can pick up your tickets, where you can buy your tickets.
Great.
All right, we'll do that. Got another caller on line 5. Come on, callers. Keep them coming. We got about 10 minutes to go. Thank you so much for calling. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name's Ariel. I'm actually the daughter.
Ariel, is this Ariel from the Walt Disney movie? No, that's not. That's a different one. Ariel.
Hi.
Do you know any of these people up here?
I sure do.
Which one?
My dad.
Oh, your dad. Okay.
I just want to say, Dad, that I'm so proud of you, and we're all excited to see you in January.
Very nice, baby. I'm proud of you as well.
And thanks, Daddy. Well, you guys are having a great show. We're all having fun watching it.
It is. It's been a lot of fun, and it's going too fast. We needed another 30 minutes, I think, to get it all in, but we're going to just start talking faster as we get closer to the end.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Ariel, give us your lucky number between 1 and 75.
21.
21 it is. Thank you, sweetie. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for calling. That's sweet.
Bye.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
See? Yeah. They are watching.
Yeah.
Nice.
From everywhere.
Very nice.
And we hope some of those people are watching from out of state too, because they can always find us on the web. That's the nice part about this show. It's here locally on cable, Verizon and Bright House and Comcast, but it's also on a dedicated Ustream channel. So if you happen to be living out of state and you've got to get your rockers fixed and you want to talk to Dr. Pupello, this is it.
Well, I'm told that people are actually coming in from out of state for the dance, and that they did last time for the '94 reunion. Yeah. That there are fans from all over that come in.
This
for
is
this.
big stuff.
Well,
you know, when the Beatles get back together, this is big stuff.
I'm there.
Hey, you might as well have been the Beatles for some of us, right? I mean, you heard those people talking in the interviews with Lynn. I mean, this was no joking matter. They pushed everything off their schedule because Saturday night it was like, okay, where are the rockers going to be? Because that's where we're going to be.
And then their success, the rocker success, was a collective success. It was everybody's success. And so the pride that everyone still feels to this day for the record, for the Peppermint Lounge, for what they're doing, and who they are. You know, people talk about Dennis with such great respect about all of them.
Come on, Artie, everybody.
Everybody, all of them. They
Can you name
love
the original rockers?
Of course.
Well, do it.
Roger Menendez, Manuel Gutierrez, Tony Lopez, Artie Alvarez, Onelio Ochoa, Donna Baccarella, myself, and Artie Alvarez.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And that was more or less the number that stayed consistent throughout, or did it grow? Did it get smaller?
Within a short period of time, we brought Chuck Boris in as the youngest member of the group, 14 years old.
14?
That's right.
How was that possible? You guys were drinking liquor, smoking cigarettes.
Well, he had
What's
to wait
having?
outside. He had to wait outside.
He's having orange pop and moon pies.
He was a fabulous guitar player at age 14.
Wow. And later became the...
Chuck Boris Trio.
Chuck Boris Trio.
Chuck Boris
he
Trio.
He formed the Chuck
on.
Boris Trio later on. Did anybody else have a little dalliance with a group of their own later on?
Oh, man.
After the Rockers disbanded in '63, and that what forced that was the acceleration of the Vietnam War.
Damn, Vietnam War. Nothing good came out of that war.
No, nothing good. We had to go different ways, and we were all draft age, you know, and we actually tried to join as a group, but they wouldn't hear of it. You know, we wanted to join as a group.
And entertain. They wanted to stay together.
Now tell me how cool that would have been for the Fabulous Rockers to have served together, survived it, and then come back and told that story.
That would have been something special. Yeah.
No, then that's not a documentary. That's a feature film. We got to call Spielberg to do that one. I'll get his people to call your people, Doc. Don't worry, we'll get it done. Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hey, this is Anthony Messina.
Hey, Anthony Messina. We got a couple of minutes, but we always take time for you. Hi, Anthony.
How you doing?
We're doing great. Tell us your story.
Marilyn and I are sitting here watching the show, and it brings back wonderful memories. I've known Dennis for so long, we won't even go that far back. But bottom line is I'm enjoying it. There's a lot of history in Tampa, and Dennis is right. The reason we all come back to Tampa is because of the people.
Nice.
Oh, thank you so much for adding that cherry on the sundae. Anthony, give us your lucky bolita number.
Let's make it 43.
43 it is. Okay, thank you. I've got to let you go because I got one more caller I got to take.
All right.
Love to you and the missus. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Anthony.
Caller, I've got to give you a minute, but tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hey, this is John from Palmacia.
Oh, John from Palmacia. Say good night, John, and give us your lucky number.
I'll
go with 28 in honor of my bride.
28, there it is. Thank you, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Dingfelder. Dr. Pupello, what a treat, what a pleasure, and an absolute joy it's been to have you on the show tonight. I'm going to let you draw the lucky winning number.
All right.
Is there anything you'd like to share with us before we get out of here? We'll bring you back. I mean, we just set the hors d'oeuvres out tonight. This ain't nowhere near the main course.
Well, thank you very much, Marvin.
Sure.
Yeah.
And we look forward to seeing you on the 23rd. I think it's, you're going to rock the house, man.
Well, I think this is going to be a special one.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be a special one.
Bring your dancing shoes.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
If you're not going to dance, what's the point? Because the name of the dance.
You can't sit down. In Cuba, when they started playing, no one sat down for 2 hours. I mean, it was amazing.
They didn't need the chairs at the letter carriers hall, and they're not going to need them at the fairgrounds neither. So it's closest to without going over. Give me that number.
There you go. 65.
65. Concho. It's got to be Anthony Messina. Closest to without going over. Hey, Marilyn Messina, what size shirt can I bring you? Anthony, large? I'll save one for you. This has been an amazing show. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to have you both here. I know the kind of work you do, and we're going to work together down the road.
Oh, yeah.
Because, can we tell them a little bit before we get off the
Sure.
air?
Creative on Main
There it
Street,
is.
a brand new production facility. My partner Larry Wizicki and I, we bought the building with our spouses, and we're going to do a TV studio, radio studio, and hopefully bring talent like Mario into the house and do some fun
The
stuff.
Tampa Native Show is going to have a new home, y'all. So as soon as Creative on Main is available for us,
As soon as we're done with documentaries.
we're going to shift right on over there, I promise to you.
In West Tampa.
In the heart of West Tampa,
Tampa,
right there on
all
the southwest corner of Maine and Armenia.
That's right.
Okay, so it doesn't get any more homegrown than that.
Thank you.
We are so excited. So, Dr. Pupello, will you come back and do it again?
I will.
Okay. Maybe we get a couple of the other guys to come in too.
Absolutely.
And we just tell
We can do that.
stories.
Well, we got lots of stories.
And we'll put a
Mario.
bottle of wine out here and we'll just go to town. Let's raise our glasses, everybody.
There we go.
Listen, let me say once again, on behalf of everybody that puts this show together, I'm very, very honored tonight to have Dr. Dennis Pupello here and Lynn Marvin Dingfelder to tell their story and share with us the story of the Fabulous Rockers. Be there on the 23rd. No excuses, okay? No excuse. And if you're not there, we'll know because we're going to be taking pictures. So shame on you for not being there. Salute and happy days, everybody.
Salud.
We love you, Tampa. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, Mario.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Back when we were younger and everything seemed new, we used to have a lot of fun, yes we did, no matter what we do. Sleepy days, long summer nights, going anywhere we please, with love that I could call my own, love that I've always known, the city that I call my home, a home from which I never roam. This love affair was meant to be. I love her and she loves me. I remember Tampa, oh, she remembers me. She remembers me. I remember, yeah, yes I do. Oh, I remember, yeah, me and you. I'm a Tampa native, Tampa native, can't you see? I will share my story with you to preserve its history.
All right now, don't forget, Thursdays, 7 p.m. on TBCN, home of the Tampa Native Show.